The issue of Security Council reform is particularly important. Russia calls for its democratization exclusively through the expansion of the representation of Asia, Africa and Latin America. We support the application of Brazil and India for permanent seats on the Council. The issue of Security Council reform is particularly important. Russia calls for its democratization exclusively through the expansion of the representation of Asia, Africa and Latin America. We support the application of Brazil and India for permanent seats on the Council, while at the same time correcting the historical injustice towards Africa within the parameters that have been agreed by the countries of the continent themselves. Recently, Secretary General Antonio Guterres proposed a comprehensive reform of the UN. We are not opposed to an open discussion of this initiative. The guiding principle should be the UN's return to the fundamental principles enshrined in its charter, which the West for many years has been seeking to replace with its rules-based order. It's important that the work be carried out transparently, with the participation and consideration of the interests of all member states. We call on the Secretary General and all Secretariat staff to strictly adhere to the principles of impartiality and equidistance in accordance with Article 100 of the Charter. Attempts at a palace coup in the Secretariat, its privatization by a small group of countries, must not be allowed. The composition of the Secretariat should reflect the new realities and ensure the fair representation of the countries of the global majority. We look forward to a constructive discussion of the organization's development at a special meeting of the Security Council, which Russia, as president, plans to organize on United Nations Day on the 24th of October. UN reform is only a part of the complex task of transforming the entire system of global governance, including the genuine democratization of the IMF, the World Bank and the WTO, commensurate with the weight and role of the global South and East in the world economy, trade and finance. Discussions of global reforms cannot ignore the fact that the international security situation today is deteriorating. I have already spoken about the reasons for this, and I'll repeat that the main one is the desire to maintain hegemony through military force. More and more countries and regions are becoming involved in confrontational schemes. NATO is finding itself cramped in Europe and is penetrating into the Pacific Ocean, the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, undermining the universal mechanisms of ASEAN and creating threats not only for China and Russia but also for other countries that are located in the region. This new stage of expansion is justified by NATO leadership with the slogan of the indivisibility of Euro-Atlantic and Indo-Pacific security, and they're trying to use this slogan to surround the whole of Eurasia with a military ring. Russia and its like-minded partners are offering a constructive alternative to this dangerous course, to build in Eurasia an architecture of equal and indivisible security, not just for NATO members and their allies, but for all countries and associations on the continent without exception, including the SCO, the CIS, ASEAN, the EAEU, CSTO, the Gulf Cooperation Council and others. To this end, Belarus and Russia, as partners in the Union State, are proposing the development of a Eurasian Charter of Diversity and Multipolarity in the 21st century.